morning, members of the Executive Council, DG, our friends in the media. Indeed, they are the friends of the revolution. Therefore, we must always, the media is part of the fourth estate. They are the friends of the revolution. There is a man called Vladimir Lenin, who wrote a book, What the Friends of the People Are. And he mentions communication is very key in that book. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust that you all had a very eventful Heritage Day celebration, and you have all well recovered from the Jerusalem challenge. Ghana, it's an exercise. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, following the announcement of the Alert Level 1 by the President, Limpopo COVID-19 Provincial Command Council held its fortnight meeting on the 23rd of September 2020. This meeting focused not only on our state of preparedness for this alert level, but also took stock of the progress we have made in our collective effort to fight COVID-19 pandemic. We have therefore invited you here today to provide you with the detailed account of the progress we have made as a province since the declaration of the state of the disaster by the President in March this year. In an effort to have our province equally playing its role in this important fight, we developed a comprehensive strategy that included the establishment and processes to curb the spread of this virus and to enhance our treatment and care capacity. These structures included the Provincial Command Council, Technical Command Council, Disaster Management Advisory Committee, and Provincial Joint Operations Center. These structures brought together all spheres of government in the province, including key stakeholders such as the traditional leadership. At the center of our work has been the people themselves. These structures would not have produced any meaningful result without the vivid support of the people of Limpopo. It was the people of this province who listened and stayed at home when the President announced a level 5 nationwide lockdown. It was the people of this province who religiously embraced the wearing of masks in public areas. It was the people of this province who accepted and endured the pain imposed by the suspension of important cultural, social, religious, and economic activities. I dare say that it is the people who are winning this war against COVID, not just the bureaucrats. For that, we want to salute every single individual in our province for playing his or her role in this gallant fight against COVID-19 pandemic. As we report here today, the latest available statistics indicates that as a province, we have registered a total of 14,853 infections, 13,954 recoveries, and unfortunately, we have lost 384 lives to this deadly pandemic. The number of active cases in this province is now at 515. Once more, we send our heartfelt condolences to the families, relatives, and friends of those who have succumbed to this virus. We wish a speedy and complete recovery to all those who are infected and affected. The focus now is on significantly reducing the number of daily infections. I therefore want to join the President in his call for us to vigilantly against the see to it that we are ready against the second wave of infections. This virus is not yet gone. Therefore, the second wave of infection has not yet been experienced in this country. The President is very correct when he says we must be vigilant, more than even ever before. Key to our provincial risk-adjusted strategy was the projection by the scientists that Limpopo is prepared for 1% population attack rate. The worst case scenario would be cases rising slightly about 1% of the population. This would result in the health system being overburdened and unable to cope. Nevertheless, we have performed far much better, as I will later elaborate. We started by launching an aggressive pushback strategy, which involved vigorous public awareness campaigns. We had to traverse the length and breadth of the province to monitor compliance to lockdown regulations and to raise necessary public awareness. In this regard, the PCC visited economic hubs, villages, and towns throughout this province. There is therefore no doubt that this approach helped a great deal as we remained under the projected 1% attack rate throughout. Our healthcare facilities were able to cope without the need to erect what we would call field hospitals. Mass screening, or should I say our mass screening campaign, was the largest recorded in the country. By early May, we had screened almost 80% of the provincial population. To that effect, we commend our battalion of no less than 9,000 community healthcare workers who conducted door-to-door campaign throughout the province. When the President of the country announced Alert Level 3, which ushered in gradual opening of the economy, our province experienced cluster outbreaks. You would remember what happened in the mines. Exponential increases in infections were recorded in the mines. To address the spike, the province therefore developed the COVID-19 surge plan. Underpinning this plan was a robust household community-based program. This also included allocating 1 doctor, 10 nurses, and 100 community healthcare workers to a targeted hotspot, every targeted hotspot. This proactive approach yielded expected results in that it helped to contain the surge. At a time when the pandemic was at its peak in the country, we converted the former multi-drug resistant TB facility in Mudimule into a state-of-the-art COVID-19 high care facility with ICU beds. We have made this facility available also to the private sector. As a result of this intervention, Limpopo never experienced a shortage of bed space for those patients who required hospitalization and higher care. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, what I said when we started, that our approach, our strategy was actually anchored around the issue of being proactive, preventative medication rather than a curative medication. We have also, or should I say, we have always ensured adequate supply of PPEs for our healthcare workers, even during very difficult times. Our healthcare workers remain our priority since they are our last line of defense. we can stand out proudly and claim, pronounce that in this province, our health care workers have never ever ran short of PPEs. That is why our casualties were so low amongst our health care workers. We know the first high-level AG audit report on COVID-19 spending, more especially on PPEs, in which no findings were identified, more especially for the most spoken about Department of Health. We are, however, still waiting the second report, which will be more detailed than this one. The Auditor General has assured us that they will give us 3 reports, but for the first report, they have already declared that they don't have anything to doubt about the procurement of PPEs in the Department of Health. But they cautioned us that this is just the first report. You're still going to have the second report sometime in November, and sometime next year they will give us the 3rd report. Without being preemptive, in case this second audit, AG audit report finds the department wanting in some respects, be rest assured that there will be consequences for any wrongdoing. But as for now, people should not keep on sitting on our necks saying, just simply because there are stories about PPEs in other provinces, that because there are stories about PPEs in other provinces, it means everybody was allocated, every health department that was allocating PPEs is corrupt. We don't have anything to even suggest that in this province. In as far as issues relating to education are concerned, schools reopened based on the risk-adjusted differentiated strategy. The most important aspect of the staggered approach in reopening of the sector was to ensure that schools are equipped to prevent, contain, and manage COVID-19. In all phases of schools reopening, the province experienced minimal glitches. As we speak, all grades have now been phased in schools with an improved teacher-learner attendance of more than 80%. Grade 12 learners have started with the National Senior Certificate Trial Examination, and to date, no major incident has been reported that seek to undermine this critical preparatory exam. The MEC is here. If there is anything that happened overnight, she will be able to appraise you. We are also confident that we will again administer an incident-free and credible final examination. We believe that together with school governing bodies, parents, teachers, and learners themselves, this academic year will be fully salvaged. In a quest to caution the less advantaged from the devastating socio-economic effects of COVID-19, we established food banks in all 5 districts of the province. These food banks proved to be very handy. Through these food banks, we are able to ensure that the distribution of food parcels is done in a way that is transparent and in a dignified manner. The food banks assist us to ensure that people are not stripped of their dignity simply because they are poor. We always ensure that the food parcel go to the people who are truly in need. The introduction of the special COVID-19 social relief grant of 350 rand and the top-up of social grants until October 2020 are a real safety net to the less fortunate. Since the lockdown period, we provided almost 500 homeless people with shelter. We also extended other social services such as psychosocial support, family preservation, reintegration and reunification services to this vulnerable group. Following the adoption of the National Economic Recovery Plan by NEDLAC, as a province, we are at an advanced stage in customizing and developing a provincial plan, which will focus on the following areas: infrastructure development, comprehensive youth empowerment, entrepreneurship, and skills development. I think all those who have been schooled, at least in economics and development, will agree with us that if you want to revive the economy, infrastructure development remains very critical. Your approach, your focus to the most economically active population, which is the young people, becomes also very critical. And the should I say, instigation of entrepreneurship or developing people in entrepreneurship skills also becomes very critical when it comes to a situation where the economy is very, very needy and desperate, or should I say dire. The provincial government has made significant strides in tackling incidences of corruption, maladministration, and poor governance. We have really came, or perhaps come a long way in our effort to stabilize the provincial government. We have completely eliminated disclaimer and adverse audit opinions in the provincial administration. I remember at some stage, I think it was in 2013, 2014, we had 13 entities that had a disclaimer audit opinion. 13 provincial government entities, including provincial government departments. Today, you don't even have one in this province. And you hear somebody saying, we are very soft when it comes to corruption. An entity or a department or a municipality can only go into a disclaimer audit opinion if they hide corruption, or else if these people disrespects the community that they are serving, or the community that elected them. My conclusion is that there are only two things that can make you to go into a disclaimer audit opinion. It's either you are hiding something, which in most instances will be corruption, or you don't respect the people who elected you. Hence, you can afford to lose documents willy-nilly, very important documents. In the last audit cycle, we received 2 clean audit opinions. The number of unqualified audit opinions have also improved or increased. However, we have noted that the issue of VBS would not easily go away given the intrinsic damage caused by the looting of this mutual bank. There are those who continue to raise the issue because they genuinely are not aware of the corrective measures we have taken with regard to this matter. However, some will continue to use the matter as a sort of political football to advance interests that are not related to the agency of good governance and the fight against corruption. We will reiterate what we have done as government with regard to this matter. The provincial government acted swiftly by sanctioning a forensic audit against the affected municipalities. The recommendations of this forensic audit have since been implemented. You would remember that immediately this thing came into the open. As Executive Council, we took a decision that Treasury go and appoint an independent company to conduct a forensic audit on this matter, because this matter is very serious. It took 6 months for them to do so. And that report was released to the media and everybody, and we have implemented the recommendation of that report. Hence, we saw 7 mayors being relieved of their responsibilities. You have seen a number of officials being charged, some being dismissed from work, some resigning voluntarily from work. You have seen currently the Hawks, because we also gave that report to the Hawks. The Hawks are actually charging some of the people. They are still having a lot of people that are still going to be charged on this matter of VBS. So it can be correct to say we are not doing anything. We started that, we have done that 2 years ago when we relieved mayors of their responsibilities, charged municipal managers, dismissed CFOs and senior officials. So it can be true that we are doing nothing about the issue of VBS, unless if you want to use this matter for something else that we don't know. I must say, for our part, we are cooperating fully with the law enforcement agencies to ensure that justice does prevail for the victims of this VBS looting. We are also urging and encouraging the central bank to really consider allocating a new license to a mutual bank in this province of the nature of VBS, or perhaps, if possible, resuscitate VBS. Perhaps it may come in a different form or format, but we are saying that kind of a bank is necessary for this province. Of course, it is not our call. This is the call for National Treasury and the central bank. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a government hard at work to ensure that fraud, corruption, and maladministration are defeated. We are therefore eagerly awaiting a report on alleged corruption into procurement of PPEs from the special investigating unit. Once the special investigating unit concludes its investigations and submits same to us, appropriate action will be taken without fear or favor. We are also accused of not doing anything on the issue of Mogalakwena municipality. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you were years since we took over in 2014. The Executive Council approved currently the intervention in Mogalakwena local municipality in terms of Section 139, 1B of the Constitution of South Africa on the 4th December 2019. This was subsequent to the appointment of multidisciplinary team, which was tasked to conduct a rapid assessment at the municipality in October 2019. The state of affairs will be reviewed in 6 months, in 6 months' time, thus empowering the Provincial Executive Council to take an informed decision in this regard. I am prepared to answer questions on the issue of Mogalakwena, any question. But I can assure you, there is no municipalities where we took stern action like we did in Mogalakwena. And I can tabulate all of them. What we did, all of these measures that we employed in Mogalakwena. When we came into office, ladies and gentlemen, there were a lot of projects committed by RAL, Road Agency Limpopo, without supporting budget. You would remember that when we came into office, RAL was running at a disclaimer audit opinion. Currently, for the past 4 years, I think, it has been on unqualified audit opinion throughout for the past 4 years. And the only reason why they cannot get a clean audit now is because of the legacy. What happened before this board came into office? That's the only reason why they cannot get a clean audit. That's Road Agency Limpopo, which is so much spoken about. Most of these projects were stopped after Section 100 came in. This resulted in a number of uncompleted roads across the province. Hence, we had the concept called the Bermuda roads. Because it was an overcommitment of that time, and when administration came, they said, no, you can't continue with these projects. But at the same time, the people who were out there were promised those projects. And there was that political pressure as a result. In some instances, things were stopped. I remember at some stage we were held hostage with MEC Ndo in Hamampur. It was not the only place. We went to blow back, the same thing happened. Because of this question of the Bermuda routes that were promised to our people long before we came into office. But nevertheless, we have since reprioritized the budget to clear this overcommitment over the MTEF period. Above all, the agency has been receiving unqualified audit outcomes, like I said, a sign that the agency is well managed. Following the raid of the Office of the Premier by the Hawks in June 2019, I commissioned internal investigation on that matter. This internal investigation is currently at a very advanced level or stage, and once concluded, the necessary actions will be taken. We are also awaiting the outcomes of the investigations by the Hawks. As I conclude, I would like to thank the people of this province, the beautiful province of Limpopo, for supporting this government and its efforts to defeat COVID-19 pandemic. We have come this far working together to improve our people's living conditions, and united in action, we can do more. I must say, ladies and gentlemen, our people have been very supportive. Our people listened to us all the way when we said they must wear masks, they must observe social distancing, they must always make it a point that they either sanitize or wash their hands. Thank you.
Ke nyoko fetola ya dikolo tša temo ntho e nngwe e re boletseng gore re ile dira re lemogile se o se bolelang re kwane re le kgoro ya thuto gore re ile tsošološa di 8 high school tša agriculture tše di leng gona re lemogile gore mathata gona ke eng re boletše le department ya agriculture ba tlo re thuša ka di-farm managers di-extension officers because ke tšona di be di tlhokega gona moo so ke lenaneo le re nang le tšona gore 80 at least ka mokgwa o bolelang ka gona every district e be le agricultural school re kgone go dira because bana ba go ba botšiša gore na spinach se tšwa kae ba re se tšwa ka Pick n Pay a ba tsebe gore se tšwa temong so re dira tše go bolela ka mokgono le bolelang ka gona. Se sengwe se re dilang gore re se dire ka mokgo ke gore feeding scheme ya rena re nyaka gore e tšwe gona mo temong e be batho ba rena ba ba dirang ba ska ya ba reka go siame ba reka Pick n Pay. Ke a gola le modirišani ka nna mme Poppy Ramathuba le yena dipetlele tša gage o tlo nyaka gore ba reke gona mo dikolong tšeo batho ba rena ba kgone go iphediša ba ska di reka Pick n Pay. Spedisela se tlo tšhaba foundation phase ya rena grade R, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 re ba ruta ka maleme a rena ba rutiwa ka English ge ba thoma go fihla grade 4. So ka ya dikolong ga dijatso ba ruta ka maleme a rena a mo Limpopo ka moka grade R, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. The foundation phase ka moka re ba ruta ka ona and then re ba thoma English a ba šetše ba itla ga grade 4. So re le kwele ge ntše re ya re tlo ba re oketša e ba 4 ya ba 5 ya ba 6 ya ba 7 o fitla grade 4.
Bothata ba maitshwaro bo dirwa ke gore ha rena milaetša ya rena ha re iši ka maleme a batho ba go rena. Se re ka le bontšhang sona le kwele tonakgolo ke bona ba tšherang ba etetše pele Provincial Command Council mo level e re bolela ka sekgowa re a dumela maybe ke phoso re tla lokiša mara impa re na le di district command council tša dilete the executive mayor ke bona ba etetšeng pele ra ba gape le di local command council ke di mayor tša ka mo gae ke bona ba di etetšeng pele. So taba tše di bohlokwa ke gore mo level ya tonakgolo le tlo kry-a gore ba interacta le di media house tša Africa borwa ka moka ga tšona. So that is why le ka kwa gore gantši ba berekiša Seesimane because ha ba ya mo SAFM ba tshwantse ba bolela gore 702 or Power FM mara ha ba ya ko tlhokola tsela ba bolela ka segagešo ha ba ya ko Mongana ba tabala bola. And then the district mayor tša rena di na le local media houses ka moka le di local mayor re na le di local radio stations ka moka. So ha ba ya ko Sekgosesa FM ba tla bolela ka polelo ya Kilobedu gore kwa bagwe ha ba le bona. Ha re ya ko Motse FM re tlo bolela ka Spedi se ya mopalla ka rujwa Spedi sa se khune la tsibor sa re palla ka le yena o se ya mopalla intse le yena moruta bana se ya mopalla. So ke ka mogogo leng ka gona ene le male khutla petition ka moka le tlo gore ba ya ko di local radio ba dire gore molaetša o ye ka di ka maleme sa mafelelo ke gore mo lefapha la maphelo re na le lenanego le tonakgolo ba boletšeng ka lona sa le ba le launcha la community based approach ke le re berekišang bona di community health care workers ke baduli ba motseng wona o ba tsamaya ba boledišana le batho ka leubale ka dipolelo tše batho ba di kwešišang. So ke ka mogore ene re le kwele di banner tša rena le tšona re le kwele di suggestion tše le re fileng tšona ba kwele ba communication gore di banner ba no tshwantse di bolele ka dipolelo tša go fapafapana tša mo Limpopo le di poster le dilo tše ka moka tšeo tše dingwe re le kwele mara ne ke no re no tsebiša gore gantši local media re tshwantse re berekiše re ska no e undermine ka gore batho gantši ba theeletša Motse or Sekhukhune FM.
On the issue of Mkhalakwena in terms of us fighting corruption, since the inception of the administration as the EXCO took a decision, there has never been a lot of things which have happened in trying to fight corruption. I think by now media houses might be knowing that not less than 7 officials in that municipality has been suspended, right from the municipal manager of the municipality. And the systems in place are being put to correct whatever. For the first time, the MPEC reports are taken to council. For the first time, that audit reports are tabled properly in councils. Audit committee reports have been taken to councils. Currently, public protector issued a report which has been taken to council, and the implementation plan for all the remedial action purported by the public protector have been taken to councils. So I'm not so sure what is it within the 1st of January, when we took over together with the COVID challenges and the actions that have been taken. It is true that we would have gone far had it not been the challenges of the COVID coronavirus. But in reality, actions are being taken for any wrongdoing in that particular municipality. And the Premier is leading the pack and insisting on the MEC responsible to make sure that all the decisions and the reports are being tabled in council. For the first time, even the reports, forensic audit reports, which have been conducted since 2014, have been taken to council, and the implementation plan thereof have been adopted by council. And council, it's meeting without any disruption in that municipality. But also service delivery, it's being restored because now villages are starting to receive water. Potholes are being patched in that particular area. So it's only that we can be able to say we are on course, we're doing work to make sure that we put the municipality back to functionality. Thanks.
Ntate Bopate, dipotšišo tša gago di bohlokwa. Leleme la letswele is very important. Le bohlokwa ga kudu for ngwane mo molomo. Gore o lebella ditšhaba ka moka di tšwetšeng pele ba berekiša leleme la letswele go tloga primary education go fihla kwa godimo. Go fihla kwa Russia le kwa Ukraine kwa ke beng ke dulantse. Go nyaka o studisha kwa ngwaga wa mathomo o spenda o ithuta leleme la bona ka gore ba ruta ka leleme la segabo bona fela kwa. Ngwaga wa mathomo ba o spenda ba o ruta language fela gore o tlo o kgone go kwešiša dilo tša bona gabotse ka gore bona ba ruta ka so ka leleme la segabo. And gore wa lebelela education system ya bona is very advanced. So ke kwana lo ena ebile ke khatla ke response MEC a re fa go yona. Mahu ka taba ya twantsho ya this COVID-19 pandemic a bontšhitše internationally, not only mo fela mo ga borena fela, both international, national and local, gore ke di super spreaders tša bolwetši bo. But ba bantši ba ba hwetšang twatšie ba e hweditše gona ko mahung. So that is why ge re tla mo tabeng ya mahu jwale ka mmušo re ba very, very strict. It is unfortunate gore at times re ba compromised rena as leaders, government leaders. Ka read sometimes o kry le gore there's a colleague, a friend, or a colleague's parent wa tlhokofetšeng. Wena go fihla kwa wa dula fasa wa ba dutše gabotse phaphara gore ke lebelela ka mo morago go tletše all over. Napile o ba compromised jwale ka a leader ba re how does it happen? O mello ba le gona mo. Go na le di MEC go na le eng, but there's very little that we can do. I remember ka funeral ya Kgoši Mathebe. We spent something like 3 to 4 hours re try to negotiate mechanisms of keeping the 50 more. To an extent, the community leaders were no, if Lochon, we are tear gas. We are not going to listen to this. And the cluster commander, Premier, I think I'm going to be forced to enforce the law. Nagana o funeraling ya Kgoši, but wa iteiwa ka di-tear gas. E dira ntho e bjang, so ke re no. Commander, a re lebeleleng gabotse re mpe re minimizing the damage ka mokgwa re ka kgonang. But equally, Ge re tloga mo, lena jwale ka maphodisa, you must go and charge the family, because ke responsibility ya family at the end of the day go insura gore melao ya obamela. You must go and charge the family, and they did exactly that by a charger family. So we want to make an appeal go batho ba ga bo rena, stopang go compromise the families tse le yang go di theka. Ka gore if le gapeletša le itla ka mašarašara ka mokgo, ke bone o ka lekwa le lena maloba kwa Hammanskraal lebile le bothata bo. Ge le gapeletša dilo tša mokhuša le feleletša le bea that family in a very bad predicament mo laballa. Ka gore I'm sure gore ge le sene le tloga maphodisa ile o tšhatša lapa la ntate Motolla ka mo laballa. So re nyaka go dira go ipiletšo bo gore batho ba ga bo rena hle a re go bameleng tabe ya gore funeraleng a re beng 100, not more. And 100 ya gona go be le spacing, go be le physical distance ge le le moo, and lo bamele melao ya COVID ka moka ga yona. Ke sa bohlokwa-hlokwa se leng gore ke kwešiša gore ntate o pape o ba se hlagiša mo, ene ke se gatelela ka sepedi sa ga sekhukhune. Gore ka moka batho ba nkwe. You are very right go bolela ka taba ya family. Mara go ka lebella wa rewinda ganyane ntate o pape to 2014 ge re tsena. Re emphasize on these 3 key economic competitive areas: agriculture, tourism, and mining for Limpopo. We can't be talking about this anything to enhance the sectors here. Hence, really, revive Mazibandela College. Raya Gagas Kukuna revive Tumpis Lake. Radivia mo standard thing say longo status che gone jwa dilongo tso. At least Helenali, these 2 sector specific colleges in the province. Lenali, the 2 universities also did the faculties of agriculture. And look at the column like MEC Abolel, reroute as a subject. Then we will be able to enhance the capacity, yeah, agriculture to bring, because whatever agriculture ki yona idira mebereko e mentšintši go feta any other sector, go feta le mining. Agriculture idira ntho, and agriculture is sustainable. In all sustainability, I mean, mengwaga e mentšintši as compared to mining, e leng gore is infinite. So re lebeletše ka leišo le ntšhotšo taba ya agriculture. We are doing a lot to improve agriculture. Go ka lebelela di-incentive schemes tše re nang le tšona in agriculture gore ke tše dintšhi jwa. Go ka lebelela go ka MEC was in agriculture, tla go botša le ka ntšheo di extension officers tše re di romelang kwa metseng gore di assiste batho ba rena ka ntšheo ka diphoofolo tša bona. Diphoofolo, temo, and everything. Go na le extension officers tše di kitimang kwa metseng ba zamang ba lekang go thuša batho ba rena. Mami, you are very right. The police visibility is very critical in any battle. Go no bona vene maphodisa e fela e feta mola is very important. We will make it a point that the relevant department is alerted about this. We are working very closely. We are working very closely with the Department of Safety, the Department of Police and Safety. Working very closely with them. Remember, we've got community safety in this province, transport and community safety in this province, which works very closely to the minister. So we'll make it a point that, and I'm aware that the MEC is listening, wherever she is now. I think she's connected.
Yes.
She has connected, yeah. Thank you. I don't think there is any other thing. I had thought, when is the premier stepping down? So fortunately, I got a question.